All right, so it's that time of year, right? We knock on the door of March Madness coming alive. I'm Matt Levine welcoming you right here to the 954 Sports YouTube channel. Thanks for checking things out. As I do encourage you to check out some of the other videos if you haven't done so yet. Please do hit like, subscribe. I appreciate all your support, as I'm certainly ready for the festivities to begin in all walks of sport. Of course, in just days from now, right, this will become the center of the sports universe, the old bracket. Either your bracket busted or you keep living to play another day and your team advances, maybe even your alma mater, all the way through the big dance to the Final Four to an eventual championship. The best tournament in sports, for my 2 cents, period. And college basketball, rightfully so, will take center stage for most of the month of March. However, not too far behind it. Got Major League Baseball starting up, which should be a very interesting season. We now get to focus on the happenings on the diamond in Major League Baseball with what has been a whirlwind, wacky, strange offseason. Of course, the NFL, a year-round thing nowadays. In a little over a week, about a week and a half, all heck will break loose in the NFL. Free agency begins. Next month, the draft. Then you get the mini camps, the OTAs, the training camp eventually as the summer kicks off into the eventual start of the 2020 season, a new campaign in the NFL. And of course, there's the NBA, the playoffs, and NHL. Gear up for the home stretch. In fact, I'm going to start things off. I'm going to talk about a couple things. I'm going to touch on the Yanks, give you some Major League Baseball talk about my favorite squad, and talk about those New York Knicks. Spike Lee, James Dolan, and the sad state of the Knicks. Also want to touch on, I mentioned some NFL, touch on the most popular player, right? Going into free agency for the first time in his career after 2 decades as a starter for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady. So a couple things to talk about right here on 954 Sports' Sports.com's YouTube station. Now, one quick note, though, before I get into all this, as you talk kind of about the serious, the semi-serious, the absurd, you talk about serious in this one, right? What a shame it will be. The Olympics expected to take place in Tokyo, Japan this summer. Possibly, could be canceled, postponed, because of this coronavirus. What a shame. Comes down to one thing for me. The athletes from all these different countries and all these respective corners of the globe and sports that they compete in. What a shame it would be, a lifelong dream. It was good enough to make it to Tokyo, to have that taken away. So, that said, you hope that the Olympics do go on. To be determined. Let's talk about the New York Yankees. Why not? Bronx Bombers, 100 wins last year, and they did it by plugging in guys that you'd never expect could become key contributors through a whole season, a la Gio Urshela at third base. Awesome. Made do in the outfield, Mike Tauchman and company. Got some patchwork in the pitching staff and in the bullpen. I've said this before for the New York Yankees. The quest for a World Series championship every season is the only goal. The quest for 28 remains the only goal. 27, as you see in the banner on the bottom, won in 2009. Been a long time for the Yanks. A decade now. So with the Yankees heading into this season, last year, the injuries, a rash of them, one after the other, took center stage, and it was a next man up scenario. Interesting, and unfortunately for the Yankees and their fans like myself, if you're not a fan of the Yankees, maybe it's fortunate. The injuries are taking place in March as you hit full stride in the Grapefruit League season, the Cactus League season, right? Spring training in Florida and Arizona, throughout the country, on the West Coast, East Coast. This dude, last year, the ultimate disappointing season for the Yankees. Stanton hardly played. And when he did play, late in the season, into the playoffs, a complete disappointment. Calf strain, sidelining him through spring training. Can we count on him? No. Not expected to be ready for opening day. What does worry me is number 99, for the Yanks. There you have Clint Frazier. He's going to get a lot of opportunity, right? Stanton out. There's Aaron Judge, number 99, mentioned him. He has a mysterious lingering shoulder injury that they're trying to pinpoint whether or not he'll be ready, Judge, for opening day. That's to be determined. Has not really swung the bat at all in spring training except in an indoor cage. Worried about the big guy. Love Judge. Love having him in the lineup, but he's missed a lot of games. About a third of the games over the last couple of seasons with injuries. Aaron Hicks. He'll be out. Tommy John surgery. There you have him in the video going yard. Great baseball player when healthy. Often injured. He won't be around for a while. So you're going to get Clint Frazier. Asked to be the next man up. He'll get his opportunity. I know he's had some attitude, some behavioral problems, some defensive problems. He'll get his chance, as will this guy who got it last year off the scrap heap. I like him. Love the intensity. Love the defensive prowess in both corners and in center field. That's Mike Tauchman. It was a godsend for the Yanks last year until getting injured and finally started hitting as a big leaguer. That was a knock on him. Came alive in pinstripes. He'll get his opportunity. Interestingly enough, so will this guy. Miguel Andujar, Miggy Andujar, the runner-up for the Rookie of the Year in the American League, season before last in 18. Lost to Ohtani on the Angels. I thought, maybe you'd call me biased. I thought Andujar earned it. And he was breaking crazy rookie records set by Joe DiMaggio, for Pete's sake. Anyway, out last year because of the injuries. The shoulder injury did him in. He's repaired. He's ready. And because of Gio Urshela holding down that hot corner for the Yanks are going to try to play him in left field. They experimented at first base. Didn't go too well a couple days ago. Left field, the experiment has gone well. So all of a sudden, you're potentially looking at a starting outfield of Gardy, Tauchman, Andujar. Could be interesting for the Yanks. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the outfield shapes up with the injuries. No surprises as we head into this season. We shall see for those Bronx Bombers. Really am a big fan of Miguel Andujar's bat. Glove to be determined. But they do say he's making strides. I've only seen him field a couple chances online on some raw video. It looked like a fan shot. It looked good to me. It ain't easy playing a Major League Baseball, a position that's new to you. But the guy does have the right attitude. They asked him if he'd be flexible. He said, oh, yeah. He wants to remain in pinstripe. So that, to me, is important. Attitude's everything, right? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about attitude. Let's talk about this guy. The attitude around the New York Knicks, since he's been the owner for a decade plus, has been awful. Let's face it, the Knicks stink. The attendance stinks. The team stinks. This whole century for the Knicks stinks. The other night, the Knicks beat the Houston Astros, the Houston Rockets. That doesn't stink. Beat a premier NBA team, their best win, one of only 19 for the Knicks. As the season now is in the home stretch in the NBA. Beat the Rockets at the Garden, but instead of getting props in a game in which R.J. Barrett finally looked like the first-round lottery pick that he should have been all season, Knicks get in the news because James Dolan and Spike Lee cannot see eye to eye. Spike, of course, one of the most notorious Knicks fans over the last 3 decades, has been a ticket holder for 28 years. He's been entering the Garden according to his own account, as he's told the media. For the last 28 years, he's gone through the same entrance, has never been told otherwise that it wasn't the right entrance for him to go through until the other night. He already entered the Garden. Security embarrassed him, told him to go back out, enter into another door. He had it to do. It was captured somewhat, some of it, the confrontation on tape. There was a reference that Spike said, "You can arrest me like my brother Charles Oakley." We all know about that episode. And then there was a shot of Dolan, a picture taken with Spike, and it looked like they were trying to make up, but Spike said otherwise, that it was kind of manipulated the picture to make it seem that way. And he's a filmmaker, and he would know. And you know what? I tend to believe him. The whole point about this, who cares? What entrance he goes through. My guess is Knicks has probably been as unprofessional as they are in every single facet, probably handled this the wrong way. Maybe the right way would have been after he came in to tell him, from moving forward, can you come in another entrance? I guess there was a VIP entrance he can enter as well. Somewhere there at the Garden in Manhattan. Whatever it was, this could have been handled a better way than capturing it on camera. Another PR nightmare for the Knicks. So everything surrounding the Knicks stinks. They hired Leon Rose, a power agent, now turned general manager, president of the Knicks, to turn it around. I like the move. I mean, it's kind of sort of worked, right? We see the Mets do it. Other teams have done it. Golden State Warriors, hiring guys who have had success in a different realm in professional sports in the NBA, handling the likes of the A-list of all A-list NBA players like LeBron James. Now you see if he can bring that attitude, bring that savviness, creativeness, hardline business approach to the Knicks and make them marketable, make them a winner again. First, though, you have to turn it around on the PR front. And I think the only way to do that is he gets put in the background. So it's going to be interesting. But just another ugly black eye for the Knicks. So all I can say is, for the love of Jesus Shuttlesworth, can the Knicks and Spike just figure out what door he needs to go through and get things right and make all right in the world of the Knicks. You know, I've said this before. I don't even need a championship. Boy, would I love a championship like the New York Rangers in '94. New York Giants in '86. Just win one championship, and I'm sure Cubs fans, Red Sox fans, you can relate, right? Just one championship, good enough forever. Lovable losers. That's what the Knicks basically are. Last time they won a championship was a couple months old. So I've never been able to enjoy one. I've been able to enjoy competitive Knicks teams. I'm not looking for a championship. I'm just looking for a competitive Knicks squad to be able to go into the playoffs. Give me a 6 seed for a handful of years. Give me a 6 seed that wins a first-round series a couple of years in a row. Maybe gets bounced in Game 7 of the second round. Makes a fluke trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. Just give me a competitive team that can sustain that for a decade. I'm good to go. The championship would be the gravy. Would be the ultimate cherry on top of the sundae. But I don't know if it's going to happen with Dolan. Even though you bring in an out-of-the-box hire as a GM now, right, a guy to run the show for the Knicks, I don't know if it's ever going to happen while Dolan is calling the shots as the owner and the man in charge of the whole scene there at the world's most famous arena. Finally, can I ever see this guy on another NFL team? Yep, I sure can. Tom Brady, number 12. All 20 years in New England. The 6 rings. 9 Super Bowls. A couple losses to Eli and my Giants. That's all that matters to me. But I can see it happening. And it could happen. Come March 18th, when that NFL free agency window is open for valid legal business, when teams can sign other players, and for the first time ever, Brady in his career, an illustrious one at that, becomes a free agent. I could see him leaving Foxborough as easily as I can see him staying in Foxborough. It's 50-50 to me. Could I see him ever in the red, white, and blue for the New York Giants? No. The green and white for the Jets? No. He ain't coming to New York. Tennessee? Sure. Makes sense to me. You got a great city there in Nashville. Vrabel is one of his best friends. He's already proven he's a pretty darn good coach. You got this upstart squad that took out the Patriots last year. Could have very easily ended the Brady era. You've got some dynamic weapons on offense with Henry as a running back, some great wide receivers, terrific tight end, great defense. A team that's very capable, making a run, upending the Chiefs as the team to beat in the AFC. Makes sense to me. Some other squads could I see Brady playing for? Let's take a look. Colts, they say they're out of the mix. Great offensive line. Other than that, I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know if they're a powerhouse contender. Raiders, for the simple fact they're the Raiders. They've got John Gruden. They're going to Las Vegas. Could be splashy. Could be fun. But Brady's going to have to compete against Mahomes. Could I see it happening? Yeah. Chargers, you'd still have to compete against Mahomes. Makes sense, too. I could see it happening. Los Angeles, new stadium. One of the biggest markets in the NFL. Warm weather. Lots of talent on defense. Got a great coach. Love that coach over there, Coach Lynn in Los Angeles, pardon me. Looking for a player that can capture the football imagination of Los Angeles and make the Chargers relevant. Brady could do that. Even though he's An old man, right? Hard to believe he's playing, right? Now he's almost into his mid-40s, early to mid-40s. Could see it happening. Could see it happening. But I'd say the logical choice, if not the Pats, would be the Titans. I think it's 50-50 shot for either one. I still think he wasn't all that bad last year, but it's going to be a lot of fun. NFL free agency is always great. The appetizer to the draft, get the season rolling. But this is going to be extra special. A ton of quarterbacks in the mix, especially seeing where TB12 winds up. So lots going on as we get ready for March Madness to take center stage. And yes, I am looking forward to all the action. So get ready for the hoops. Get ready for the baseball. And of course, all the happenings off the gridiron in the National Football League. Should be fun.